I am good. Thank you for joining us today. I know it's like
Oh
so
my God, I
funny,
am
but
like, no, it's great. I was like so trying to not be the old lady and try to figure out how to get on the show and make sure I got everything right. So
you got everything right. Don't worry. It's what it is. This is live. It's always what it is. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're out here at Whole Foods meeting voters here in the district. I'm super
Yes.
excited. We're meeting everybody, like everybody shops at Whole Foods, like seriously, like everybody from every income, from every part of the district. And it's just been really wonderful to talk with folks and to get a pulse of the town. I mean, we've been all locked in for like 9 months, right? Or
Yeah.
8 months.
Longer.
And so,
8, 9, something like that. It feels like
yeah.
forever.
And so it's been really, really wonderful for us to, get a moment to get out and talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah,
First, if you guys don't know, you are currently our city councilwoman, correct?
I am District
Yes.
3.
District 3. And you're looking to be reelected. So first, my first question for you is what inspired you to step into this role?
Wow. I was
I know
really
it's a big
inspired
one.
by, no, I've been working on systems change and especially affordable housing as a civil right for my
Hmm.
entire adult life. And based on the successes that I've had with supporting low income families in that work through advocacy and community development, where we started addressing the issues around community violence when I was at the nonprofit in Richmond. My friends and family really encouraged me to run in Oakland when the prior council member had announced her retirement. So I was
Hmm.
inspired to do this by the challenge of being able to bring my love, passion, skill, and
Hmm.
ability to support Oakland as we look to confront these big systems around inequity and safety. And that inequity is environmental justice, it's access to food, it's housing and jobs, it's housing
Yes.
and education, it's housing and life expectancy. And it has just been a joy to learn more about the things that I didn't know, because I didn't know about homelessness. I did
Hmm.
affordable housing, but not homelessness. And to really lean in on some of these big issues. And I'm very proud of a record of strong progressive achievement and building relationships and mending fences with the regional partners and electeds at the state and county level, where Oakland had really suffered for many years of going it alone, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Oakland against the world.
I
And
grew
what
up
we've
in
been,
Oakland. I know. I know.
right?
I went
I
to
mean, we
public
were the
schooling.
laughing stock.
Oh, I
Man,
know.
Tracy, we were the laughing stock. I can't tell you how embarrassed I'd be going into like these county meetings and they're like, "You're the first person from Oakland in 10 years. What are you doing here?" They would mean mug me. And I
Oh,
just loved on them until, Oakland had a seat at the table and we began to really begin to mend those relationships so that we could bring and deliver for the people.
I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm so glad you're representing Oakland. Like I said, as a kid, I grew up in Oakland. I went to Oakland Public Schools. When I was going, it wasn't so hot. But now I have a kid, and I'm looking at Oakland Public Schools, and it's come a long way. It really has. And I think, Oakland
Thank
is
you.
a very complex place. But I think there's just a lot of love there, like you said. There's a lot of love, and we're working for it. So that's amazing. I have one more question for you, and then we're going to hop over, and I'll let you go back to what you're doing. My other question for you is, what is one thing that folks can do to help make change in their own communities?
Oh, one thing, Tracy?
Well, I know there's 100 things, but come on. I mean, voting's the number one thing, right?
Right? I was like, I mean, you could have gave me like three things. Now it's like
Ah!
one thing,
Okay, give us three
one
things.
thing.
Give us three things then. Just tell us. Just educate us.
So honestly, I'm going to say the first thing that you must do if you want to be a change agent is you have to nurture hope.
Mm,
You must nurture hope. You
mhm.
have to believe that things can be better and that things can change. If you approach this from a deficit mindset, if you're not operating from a notion of abundance and gratitude, then it makes the work so hard and so disappointing, and people literally quit. I mean, I've been so concerned about some of the young Black Lives Matter activists that have taken their lives over the last few years. So they don't have gospel songs. They don't have the songs of redemption. You know what I mean? They have the anger and the disappointment, but you have to really look at how far we've come on voting rights, on women's rights, on queer rights, on expanding opportunities, on, we have made a lot of progress and change. We are not the resistance. We are the progress. The resistance is Trump and his allies on their last gasp. Yes. They are resisting the inevitable wave of justice, because I really do believe that the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice, and they're trying to bend it back and slow our progress. So just remember hope. I mean, first and foremost, really, I think that's the number one thing. The second thing I would say is find your flow. If something calls to you for change, whether it's a community garden or helping old people in your neighborhood, if it's just about complaining about, the curb needs to be painted red and the city hasn't gotten to it, find your flow. That thing that's calling you, that you see that maybe other people don't see, is really your call. And it's not the only call of your life, but it's the next call. And if you're faithful to that call, you will continue to build a life of engagement and small victories that lead to big change. And then the third thing is really talk with and organize with your neighbors. I speak of being bold, courageous, and humble. It's going to take us having a bold platform to topple white supremacy and toxic masculinity and the intersection of, violence. When I think about all of that, you got to be bold. You got to lift up the moment, as we have in the wake of George Floyd's terrible death. But we have toppled Leopold's statue.
Yes.
Like it is speaking around the world to undo the toxic parts of Western civilization. So we've got to be bold, and it takes courage. It takes courage to stand in an uncomfortable truth. And then no matter how bold or smart or woke you think you are, and I mean that, like, no matter how bold or smart or righteous we think we are, we must also have the humility to know that ours is only one perspective. It is only one limited lifetime of that is informed. And so how can I be humble to make sure I listen for the people who are crying in the corner, whose needs I may not know or understand, or whose lived experience is so foreign from my own? How can I step up into this space of, I want to make change, and I know I can make change, and I got the answer if they'd only do what I said. Like, you got to be bold, you got to go for it, right? And then at the same time, and this is something I think is difficult to manage. At the same time that I'm being bold, I have to stand back and say, but let me listen. Let me listen to my brother. Let me listen to my sister. That's where the humility comes from. And when we are both bold and humble, and I really mean this, Tracy, with everything that's in me, when we live in this sort of tension where your truth can become my truth because I can step back, then we have the process for sustained transformative change. And we have to stop othering people. Like, those people over there ain't woke, so I'm not talking to them. That's not how you build movements. That's not how you build a society. And no matter how disappointed I am in some of the decisions that are made in this moment, it's just a moment. It's just a moment.
Woo,
I'm gonna keep living. I'm gonna keep living. I'm gonna keep loving. I'm gonna keep loving, because we want to love ourselves whole. So
amazing.
Listen, I've got 17 days, and I don't know if this is the platform, but if anybody wants to get involved with me in this love-evolutionary thing that I'm doing in Oakland, if you really want to be about sustained and positive change that's built on love, come to LynetteForOakland.com. Come join me today, right now. I'm at Whole Foods. You can come talk with me, talk to voters with me. I love you so much for giving me these few moments with you and your audience. And girl, your work always you talking about my words make you weep. Those pieces that you have put into the world, as I know it is the artist, not the soldier, that makes us free. I know this. I'm not an artist, but I know I owe everything in my life that sustains me to poets, to artists, to musicians. I could not have made it through the grief of 2019 without the artistry and the beauty that y'all bring. So you stay strong.
Thank you.
You stay strong.
Thank you. And you stay strong. Thank you for joining us. Oh my God, phenomenal. Blew my mind. I hope that you are reelected. I voted for you, so you got one. I'm sure you got more than one.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Vote me number one. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. I love you.
Bye, darling. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. And thank you, Lynette. Wow, that was amazing. I've got chills. I'm like trying not to cry. That was beautiful. What an inspirational speaker. And God, the work she's already done for Oakland. Oakland did have a real hard time getting the good rep, but now Oakland, we're really getting on our feet again, and it sounds like Lynette was a part of that. So thank you, Lynette. Now, I think I saw a Oakland Black Business Fund on here. Yep, you're on here. I'm going to invite you on. Thank you for your patience. Let me find my questions for you. Hi! Oh, are we there?
Hey.
Do we have you? Hello?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Hey,
Hello.
there you are.
Hey.
I can hear you. This is Allison. Hi, Allison. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you, Tracy. Nice to meet you. I heard from Lynette. That was absolutely beautiful. So I'm over here.
I know.
Wiping back
chills.
tears myself. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Whew. I know. That's a tough act to follow. But I know you can do it.
I'll just be me. That's all I can do.
Yeah. So I give you a little intro before, and then Lynette hopped on. This is the craziness of Instagram Live. But Allison has been working with. How long have you been working with Oakland Black Business Fund?
Since right after the George Floyd protests and riots. So we got up and running, supporting Elise Douglas, who was really the architect of the fund, along with Trevor Parham. And it started as a GoFundMe and just like community-based support and donations to really just ensure that Black businesses could stay here in Oakland, period. There's just no infrastructure to support the retention, the development, and the sustainment and the growth of Black businesses here in Oakland. And we all just got a little tired of it, quite honestly. And we're here working on keeping Black businesses here in Oakland and thriving. So right now we are raising I believe we have about $140,000 or $150,000 in COVID relief grants that we were provided as a city official COVID relief fund for Black businesses that were damaged during any protests and riots over the past few months of social injustice. So definitely want to spread the word and make sure folks know about that. And if you're a Black-owned business in Oakland, please apply for that if you are in need of that resource. And then we are also just on the tails of that, really working to grow the next transition and phase of the Oakland Black Business Fund. So we want to stay here. We want to support as many Black businesses as possible, given systemic racism has truly blocked Black businesses from thriving in any of these ecosystems in Oakland and across the country and in cities across the country. So we are working on fundraising some investments as well to support Black businesses wherever they may be. And we're just so excited because the momentum has really gotten us to this place. And, I think the businesses that we're supporting, we couldn't be happier for and more proud of. And, we're here to create an ecosystem that is here for the vibrancy and the protection of these incredible superheroes that are your local business owners and your local entrepreneurs out here in Oakland.
I mean, I think that's one thing I really want to highlight about what I love about what you guys are doing is that you're Black-led. That it's not some white fund, like, hey, I'm getting the cred for like helping the, it's like, it's really, I mean, it's such an important part of the whole thing, right? Is that it's the power is there. And that's, I mean, it's just amazing. I actually found out about you guys after I did that mural in Oakland. And
that was so beautiful too. Thank you so much for the donation. We truly appreciate it.
Well, the mural was to support Black Lives Matter, and then the building wanted to buy it, and I was like, well, first of all, that's amazing, thank you. But I am as white as they come, and I want this to go what it's about, right? Like it shouldn't
Yeah,
benefit me. It's
absolutely.
about Black lives. And so they actually, Old Oakland recommended you guys, and that's how I found out about y'all. And I'm just so happy. I'm so inspired by what you guys are doing. It's really
Hey,
next
we're happy to
level.
be we're happy to be here. And honestly, it's just, at a certain point, you get to a place in your life where you realize that you can be a part of the solution. And that's a choice. It's all a choice that we have, and it's a choice that we have to make. And I've been opting into being a part of the solution since I was about 22 years old, and so I'm excited in my 30s, to find a new home to impact change and social and economic justice, and fight against racial inequalities here in the town that I love so much. So I couldn't picture it any other way.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So I had some questions lined up for you, but we kind of covered some of them.
Oh, that's okay.
Um,
Sorry.
no, it's good. I love it when it's casual. This is much better. It's like better when it flows. But one question I have for you, and it was sort of similar to what I asked Lynette, is what is one thing that folks can do to help make change in their own communities? It sounds like even before this was something you were doing. Do you have
Yeah,
any advice?
several pieces of advice. I mean, I can go with my top two.
Top two.
Number
Okay.
one, yeah. Number one, get involved in what your local city councils and what your local politics scene is happening and doing. I can't tell you how many people I've met here in Oakland over the past 12 years that have like never ever been to a town hall or a discussion where something was like being argued for or against on a Wednesday night in City Hall, and no one is there, and we're not there, and our generation is not there, and our younger generation is not there. We need to show up. It's one thing to vote and vote, get out and vote, and please, yes, please go vote. But the next phase of that is, how do you enact local difference and make local change right in your own neighborhood? And there are so many decisions that are being decided because certain voices are louder than others because ours aren't even in the damn room. So I think the first step is like, get into the room where those conversations are being had, where decisions are being made that impact your livelihood in your own zip code. And if you don't know, find out. Visit the city hall website. Visit oaklandca.gov. See
Yeah, and
what
don't be
boards you can sit
shy,
on. See which way.
right?
Don't be shy. Do
Go,
not
just
be shy.
go.
I remember I remember being so afraid because I wasn't an Oakland native, because I moved to Oakland in 2010. So I was like, oh no, like they're gonna push me out of here because I'm not from here. I'm from Long Beach, California, and I grew up in Oakland. I became the woman that I am today in Oakland, and so I owe this town everything. I owe it my heart. It is my heart. And so I just, I showed up, and I was I think the youngest and the only Black woman on like the Citizens Police Review Board when I was
Wow.
24 years old. So
Wow.
there's so many ways that you can directly start getting involved and making a difference that don't take up too much of your time. That's like a 2 hour a week commitment. It's not, you can make a change, you can make a difference here. And then the other piece of advice that I recommend is, I think the recommendation earlier was find your flow, but the things that keep you up at night, they're there for a reason, and like lean into those things because they're going to keep following you anyway in your life. There's always going to be those things that like speak to you in silence, right? And so a big thing is learning how to meditate and trust your voice within, and listening to what happens in the quiet, because those thoughts are the thoughts that you should run with, because you are uniquely and beautifully created to make every change possible if you just listen to yourself and trust your own instinct and trust your gut on how to do that, because
Wow.
it's all within. It's all
Yes.
within.
Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your
Of
service. Oh
course.
my God, you've been up at this for a long time. For those of you who
Hey,
haven't
hey,
been this, yeah, go.
my dad raised me. So my mom and dad raised me. My dad was a civil rights and political activist for gang violence and for the rights of gang members in Long Beach, California. So
Wow.
I came from the best. I couldn't stay at home ever, and I'm just so happy to carry the baton and make my
I love
family
it.
proud.
I mean, you know what? I was thinking about this the other day. My dad works for the Department of Fair Employment and Housing. I'm like, no wonder
Yes.
no wonder I'm all
Yes.
about this. You know what I mean? And my mom worked for
It's
Oakland
not
Public
a
Schools, so
it's not a coincidence, Tracy. It's not a
yeah.
coincidence. That's right. And you know,
Well,
we are social and civil servants by choice, right? And it's
mhm,
we saw that mapped and modeled in our communities, and I remember when my neighbors cared about my livelihood, and so I want to get back to a reality where we just treat each other as neighbors again, and we love on each other,
mhm,
and support one
mhm.
another, and as much as we possibly can, because
I
that's what
love
it's
it.
about.
Well, we're almost out of my time. So if you guys
Yeah,
are watching, go check out the Oakland Black Business Fund. They're amazing. I love what you're
please,
doing.
yes.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you so much, y'all. Bye, Tracy.
Yeah. Bye, darling.